That's the thing we don't think about, the impacts that they'll have on everyday Idahoans.
Roughly 2 weeks after we learned the federal government unexpectedly cut funding for organizations like the Intermountain Fair Housing Council, the Idaho nonprofit and several other fair housing groups across the country sued. New court documents show they claim the disruption has caused, quote, an immediate and devastating impact, end quote. Abby Davis talked to the Fair Housing Council's executive director about this decision. So, Abby, what'd you learn?
Brian, she says that they need these grants if they want to continue educating Idahoans about their rights under the Fair Housing Act and helping them with eviction and discrimination cases.
I really do hope that we get them uncanceled.
This lawsuit gives Intermountain Fair Housing Council Executive Director Zoanne Olson hope.
We've taken this action because I felt so strongly about the commitment that we've made through these grants to Idahoans.
A Washington, D.C. based law firm filed the suit against the federal government late last week on behalf of the Idaho nonprofit and several others around the U.S. They want the Department of Housing and Urban Development to restore the nearly 80 fair housing grants unexpectedly canceled in late February.
This is money that Congress has appropriated to these fair housing organizations.
Like I previously reported, HUD claims the awards no longer effectuate program goals or agency priorities.
It was shocking, makes you cry, it makes you feel frustrated.
A letter explaining the decision says the president and new Department of Government Efficiency, charged with cutting federal spending, made the decision. Yang Wu is one of the lawyers representing the nonprofits.
First, no agency action should be directed by DOGE. And then secondly, if you were going to do something like terminate a grant that someone is relying on, you have to give an explanation, a single sentence about agency priorities, and under the Administrative Procedures Act, that is just not enough.
Ann Olson says they've already had to lay off one employee because the government canceled 3 of their 4 grants. Nearly all their funding to help Idahoans with fair housing issues comes from HUD.
We have over 200 cases right now. It's a lot of planning taking away from the really critical work we do, which is serving people.
This lawsuit was filed in Massachusetts, where one of the other organizations is based. Lawyer Wu says they have been assigned a judge, and there will likely be a hearing for this case next week, Brian.
Okay, so Abby, last time you spoke to Olson about this, she said she was going to reach out to our congressional delegation for help. How's that going?
Yeah, they've heard back from both senators and Representative Simpson, and she says that they've told her that they're reaching out to HUD, but there's no word on what those conversations have looked like.
All right, still no definitive answers.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Abby.